Oh, hello. Didn't see you there. Look, we're not in my office. We've come into London's West End to the Comedy Store to meet one of my very good friends, a fine, fine fellow who is so many things. An actor, a humorist, a writer, a columnist. I'm going to use the words a ray of sunshine. He is somebody who so many of you have asked me to speak to. And finally, after a flurry of lawyers' letters, he's agreed to do it. It's David Mitchell. We're at the Comedy Store. Look who's here. So many people have asked for me to get you.
Oh.
Probably you and Coogan, the most requested people to have on here.
That's fair. I'm honoured to be in that company. It's very nice. I've never been to the Comedy Store before. That is what a barbarian I am.
So I was going to ask you, have you performed here? But you've never set foot.
This is the first time I've been in this building. Not even on a stag do. You know,
Well, there's no one here, and that got a laugh. That was
Yeah.
incredible.
That was the ghost of the comedian that's played the most stag do's here.
You've never been
I know.
here?
No, I'm not proud of that. Although the fact that you're so surprised is making me proud. But only in the same way as if I'd said, you know, I've killed twice. You know.
Because it's 3 times, isn't it?
Of course.
So you've walked here. Maybe we'll start with that, because I don't know to what extent people are aware of your walking regime. And I was telling the crew here, see if you remember this. It was before we'd started Would I Lie to You. I bumped into you in London. Oh, I hope you don't think you're going to remember this. I'm upset. Near the Sanderson Hotel. And I said, how lovely to see you. I said, you're looking very well. I said, have you lost weight? You said, I've been walking.
Now, I don't know if I remember that encounter. I've certainly, I know we've met before. You're ringing a bell. Outside the Sanderson Hotel. That's
Not
that hotel.
outside it. You know where the Sanderson Hotel is.
I've never been in
basically live there.
I have never been in the Sanderson Hotel.
Never been in the bar of the Sanderson?
No bit of it.
And you've never been to the Comedy Store? Are you in the media world?
I mean, I hope so. But I've never had any cocaine either.
Well, neither have I.
Yeah. Have you been offered it?
Of course.
I haven't been offered it. I was all ready to refuse it. You know, I've all got my system in my head, because if I like it, that's bad. If I don't like it, obviously that's bad. Shove something up your nose, you don't like it, pointless activity. Shove something up your nose and you do like it, that's even worse. Suddenly, you know, a lager's too dry without a little bit of the self-importance powder. And so I am all ready to be holier than thou and prim and proper, and people can see it coming, and they've never... Do we swear on this?
You can if you want to.
I've ruined it now by not... but no one's ever offered.
There was no swearing in that.
No, I know. I was going to say
Okay.
no one's ever fucking offered, was what I was going to say. And then before I said fucking, because I'm a professional, I checked and I realised the rhythm that was going to take me through that swear word had gone.
And you
But
did
I've
it with a hint of Michael Caine as well.
Did I?
No one's ever fucking offered it.
Yeah.
All right, well, look, let's imagine then. We're in a club.
Yeah.
Okay, I know you. Ah, what, Dave? Well, I wouldn't call you Dave, would I? David, hi, look, I've got a bit of, do you want a bit of Coke?
Oh, no, I'm all right, thank you. Because I've done my reasoning that if I like it, that's...
what you
worse
just
than-
said was
Yeah,
that's
that's what
what
I
you
was
would
ready
say.
to say.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, I'm 47 now. I've missed my moment anyway for getting involved in that. Really.
When is it too late to begin? And I want to say, by the way, because I can't imagine our friends at Spotify being too keen on this. So let's just say no
What,
drugs.
the non-drug taking? They're not keen on that.
They're
pro.
No,
oh my
no.
God, how shocking.
They wouldn't be happy with us encouraging
They wouldn't
the
be
whole
happy
drug.
with us not disencouraging the non-untaking.
Don't throw your
of
double
it.
negatives at me.
Yeah.
We're not suggesting it. We're not. Of course, we're not. See, I've never had any drugs at all. You're narrowing it just to cocaine, so I'm assuming heroin,
I've had the rest.
crack.
Oh yeah. No, I had a bit of cannabis as a student. 'Cause that felt appropriate. It, felt,
Do you want to talk about it?
No, I didn't really like it. That's the truth. But I did. I mean, I think it's all right because that was in the 90s. It was definitely illegal, but it's long enough ago and a small enough illegality that I think I'm in the clear now.
The actor and writer David Mitchell appeared in court today on retrospective charges.
Yeah.
The charges came to light while recording a podcast with Strictly Come Dancing Anton Dubek. Now, we are going out on tour not long after this will be launched onto the world. There may be some tickets still available. It's called Brydon, Mack and Mitchell. Mm-hmm. Thank God for the alphabet. Yeah. Town to town. Yeah. And we've done it already. Tell the listener / viewer a little of what it is so that we can just shift the last remaining tickets.
Yes, indeed. Well, as it's odd because you feel like you're very comfortable with supposedly in dialogue telling me things I know. Yes. And I feel like it's weird, but I'm going to embrace it.
I've embraced show business in a way that you haven't.
What we'll be doing is we'll be going to these theatres in these towns.
That's
we'll
right.
be doing a show that is very much about the place we're in. Right, so it's an improvised show, but on a rigid structure.
And I'm told that if that structure changes, I learnt quite recently that you don't like that.
I don't like the structure. I want what Douglas Adams referred to as rigidly defined areas of doubt and uncertainty, which I think is a sort of a good phrase. And that's what you sort of want with a improvised thing. You want to know what's new and what's set in stone, so we're going to take, as it were, the skeletal remains of a boiled down Bruce Forsyth catchphrase, but add the delicious meat of improvisation in a sort of splattergun effect onto the skeletal boiled down bones.
You took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah, and then we'll make a sort of Frankenstein's dinosaur monster of comedy.
But it's not Would I Lie to You, is it?
No, it's not Would I Lie to You.
I think that's important to point out.
Anyone expecting Would I Lie to You will be, well, depending on the nature of their expectation, either pleased or disappointed, but they will be surprised.
Yes.
Because it won't be that.
Much like your surprise at discovering Lee has been the most popular of all my guests. Is there any anger in your response?
I think
there was a little in mine, if I'm being honest. There was a little sort of,
yes.
But I know him really well.
There's also anger at. I'm disappointed in the world, but I'm also disappointed in myself for my own jealous and resentful character. Yeah. But I think in a way you get to a point where you've just got to accept what you like. You?
But in
so does everyone else.
All honesty, all jokes aside, I knew that I wanted to have both of you on this. And I really struggled with who to ask first because I felt I might upset somebody. Now, I imagine the reality is you couldn't give a monkeys.
I didn't know Lee had already been up.
Well,
But he lives nearer you.
He does live near me. That was going to be my reasoning if you challenged me on it.
There's the alphabet and the proximity. So in a way, if you'd gone with me first,
it would have raised questions.
Yeah.
That's.
So
That's what I went with.
I respect the diplomacy of your choice.
I've asked most guests on here if they can remember where we met, and with some guests I know it so clearly, but I don't remember when we first met.
I saw you, and I don't know if we met, but at a radio recording of a show called Yes Sir, I Can Boogie that a friend of mine was in. And this would have been in the late, but not that late 90s, maybe 97, 98 kind of area. And it was a sketch show, but the theme was with a lot of disabled performers, but also some non-disabled performers. Maybe.
Simon Greenall?
Simon Greenall was in it, and I think you were basically a stand-in, as it were, for Simon Greenall. Couldn't make one recording, and it was you instead. And that was the first time I'd heard of you. And you were very funny.
Was I?
Yeah, you're reading out these patchy sketches, but you did it very well. And that's the first time I became aware of you. And then I noticed over the subsequent few years, that's that. And I've often wondered, because, after a recording like that, people go back to the pub afterwards. Yeah. I might have been introduced to you then, and I might not. So when it might be then. That's the first time I laid eyes on you in the same room, if I can say that without it going a bit sexual.
So I first noticed you was after that recording, and I thought,
Yeah.
He's nice. When I came on Would I Lie to You as a panelist, had we met properly? Robert Webb was on that episode as well, oddly enough.
Well, you did a show about
you came on
shows,
that?
which I came on. And
That was before that.
That,
yeah.
I
that was
thought
called Annually Retentive.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it was like as it were, a spoof panel show, a slight crossover. Is it
Poor man's Larry Sanders is how we perhaps best think of it.
Yeah.
Had its moments.
That was the pitch, wasn't it? The BBC were very happy with that.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
It has its moments, that show.
Yeah,
definitely.
I was fun to do.
Oh, so I would have met.
But I remember
met you
thinking,
then.
this is talking about rigidly defined areas of doubt and uncertainty. This is an area where, do we need? Is that a show that should have been completely scripted?
Right.
Or is that a show where the use of improvisation is slightly, because I imagine the Larry Sanders show was just scripted and shot.
Yeah, I would imagine it was tightly scripted. I don't know.
Or
I don't
maybe
know.
a bit of improvisation, but more in a sort of
just add a
thick
bit
of
on
it
once
kind
you
of thing.
once you've got it.
I would say it was either on Annually Retentive or randomly probably in the Yorkshire Grey.
After a radio recording.
Yeah.
Okay. Peep Show was one of the longest running. I wasn't aware of this. One of the longest running sitcoms that there's ever been.
Oh, I mean, in
well, not in
British terms.
In British terms.
Yeah, in British. Yeah. I think it was by some metrics the longest running Channel 4 show. I'm not sure whether that's series or episodes or whatever.
Did you change in it as it went on, or did you sort of hit the ground running, you yourself?
I think I got better at being on television a bit, but my weight fluctuated. That's
and I want you to know
in
this
both directions.
This is a safe space
Yeah.
to talk about things like that.
Well, I would say I was sort of. I think the graph of my weight. I mean, it's no good for people listening, is it? But there was a point, I think about series 5 or 6, I was quite svelte. And then I put a bit on again, series 7 and 8. Quite porky by series 9, but not as bad as I had been series 3 or 4.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's...
And what do you put the fluctuation down to?
Food.
Right. And were you eating the food?
I was eating the food.
That was the thing, wasn't it?
Varying extents.
It was seeing the food caused you no problem
also
at all.
the walking. When I started walking every day, that was around series 5, and I lost a lot of weight from the walking, and then my metabolism got used to the fact that I walked and found a way to put the weight on despite the walking. I never took any exercise at all before.
I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about Peep Show.
Oh yeah, that was what this.
That's what we're talking about.
The catering on Peep Show, let me tell you.
To really look forward to that feeling in my stomach. Do you remember much of it? Do you remember chunks of it in the way that viewers of it remember chunks of it? I'm thinking particular about the thermostat. Do you remember the thermostat?
I can't remember the exact dialogue, but I remember the principle of
goes,
the joke is that he thinks you have to whack it right up so that the boiler really tries, rather than it just being a switch that turns on and off at a certain
beautiful.
temperature.
Now, you talking about comedy being the bigger thing. I mean, see, I think that is the joke that it is, but it also kind of suggests all sorts of things about life.
Yes.
I mean, and I love that. And you're there saying you can't trick the. I'm not going to do the voice. It's.
I know you hate to. Right. You can do Robert Webb if you like.
I only impersonate people I have affection for and I like. Okay? Have you seen my Farage? And you're saying, Jeremy, you can't.
Is it trick the boiler?
Trick the boiler.
Yeah.
Yes, it won't get there any quicker.
Yeah.
And this happens now when we're in the car. My wife or the kids will turn the heater up to 38. I go, what do you... Yeah. It's exactly the same thing. Mm. You don't want it to be 38. If it gets to 38, we'll all die.
Yeah. No, and it will work as hard as it can to get to...
Yes.
Yeah. No, except now, as if to spite me, in our car, the thermostats, there's something wrong with it, and you have to crank it up. And it will only... But that's because its numbers are wrong. It will only... You have to turn it up to 28 to get it to not be tepid air.
That's hilarious.
So it's like, Jeremy has proved right.
I'm having to bring this to a close. It goes against every instinct in my body. I could have talked to you for another 3 or 4 minutes.
Almost effortless.
Almost effortlessly. You've heard me say that before. Is there anything you'd like to... You ever done one of those interviews at the end of this? Is there anything else you'd like to talk about? You go, no, I'd like to go home.
I'd just like to say that if I were to get this job, I will give it 110%. By which I mean I will work 10% harder than my previous job where I was sacked for non-attendance.
David Mitchell, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for having you. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that.